As we said earlier, matter exists in one of three phases, either as a solid, a liquid, or a gas. And matter can change its phase. What causes matter to change its phase, and what are some of the different types of phase changes? Changes of phase involve gaining or losing heat energy. We can feel heat energy, like the heat coming from this fire. The air in this freezer has less heat energy and is quite cold. Let's look at a phase change by starting with ice. We can measure the heat energy of the ice by using a thermometer. If you look closely, you can see the thermometer reads -1 degree centigrade. Water below 0 degrees centigrade exists in the solid phase. What do you think will happen to this ice if we were to add heat energy? We will put this beaker of ice over a hot flame to see what happens to the ice. Over several minutes, you can see that the ice gradually melts to form liquid water. Melting is the phase change from a solid to a liquid. During cold weather, the water in this lake freezes. But as the weather warms, the ice melts. A similar thing happens with this popsicle if it is left in the sun on a warm day. The popsicle melts and changes to a liquid. What do you think will happen if we add more energy? The water in the beaker is in the liquid phase. The temperature of the water in the beaker is 65 degrees centigrade. What do you think will happen if we heat it? Let's look and see. We will put it over this hot flame and observe what happens. After a few minutes, you can see the temperature has risen to 90 degrees centigrade. Let's continue to heat it for a few more minutes. As you can see, the water now has bubbles rising in it, and water vapor, or steam, is coming off its surface. The water is now boiling. Boiling occurs when a liquid changes to a gas. If we were to let the beaker of water continue heating, eventually all the water would change to a gas. Water boils at 100 degrees centigrade. We often boil water in order to cook food properly, such as rice. And sometimes we add water vapor or steam to the air in our homes when the air seems dry. When water boils and it changes from a liquid to a gas, the particles move faster and spread out. Have you ever wondered why the water level in a fish tank becomes lower over time? Or when a glass of water is left on a shelf for several days, the water eventually disappears. Where does the water go? It gradually changes to a gas and evaporates into the air. Evaporation is the process of a liquid changing to a gas. In evaporation, the particles of a liquid move faster as they gain energy at the surface of the liquid. Eventually, the particles escape from the surface as a gas. Puddles often form after a rainstorm, and after time we say they dry up. But in reality, what actually happens is that the water in the puddles is evaporating. Large bodies of water, such as the ocean, evaporate huge amounts of water, which eventually fall back to the earth in the form of rain, which we call the water cycle. We walk, move, and live in a huge layer of air. This air is made up of different types of gases. Some of this gas is water. Usually we cannot see this water gas, but when there is a lot of water in the air, we can see it in the form of fog. These clouds also contain concentrated water vapor. As this water vapor cools, or loses energy, the gases in it turn to liquid and fall as rain. The surface of this glass of water is cold. Now, let's look at it closely. Notice the small drops of water on the outside of the glass. Did they come from the water inside the glass? No, they came from the air surrounding it. The air surrounding the glass is made of water vapor, and when it loses energy, it changes to liquid. This process is called condensation. Condensation is the process of a gas changing to a liquid. You may have observed a thin film of water on the inside of a window. This too is condensation, and it appears when the water vapor condenses on the cool glass. This fruit drink is a liquid that has a temperature of 20 degrees centigrade. Do you like popsicles? How would you go about making a popsicle from this fruit drink? You will need to put it in the freezer where it will lose energy. Let's leave it in here for a little while. Now let's take a look. As you can see, the liquid fruit drink has turned into a solid popsicle. When we placed the liquid fruit drink into the freezer, it lost energy, and the particles slowed down, and therefore it became a solid. Freezing occurs when a liquid changes to a solid. Water freezes at 0 degrees centigrade and becomes ice. Ice is a hard solid on which we can walk and even skate. Other things, like butter, become solids at even higher temperatures. Butter is a solid at room temperature, while other materials, like water, do not become a solid until it reaches 0 degrees centigrade.